Let's also pick up another module quickly. Let's check this out. And I think I should pick the digital inputs and the digital output. So we have the digital output, same thing. You can see the functional status, which I talked about the hardware revision and the likes. And you can also see this is actually a digital output, DQ. And if you look at it very carefully, you discover that it is 24 volt rated. Don't fry these guys. Know their limits. Don't feel anything works, especially for newbies. Always pay attention to voltage. So let's remove all of that and then check this guy on a close look. All right. Or the other number 60S7521 1BHOO-OABO. You can see digital input 1624 volts. Okay, DC. We'll be talking so much more about this. If you look behind, you'll see slots for the bus connectors. So let's connect these two together with the bus connector. The more we mount, the more we use a bus connector. So we're going to be doing this together. So first of all, from your CPU, okay, you mount. So let's pick the CPU first and then mount the bus connector right there. Okay, that's the CPU. Okay, then we can then add this guy. So it's very, very possible you just lay them down and do that. So that's that for that. Let's pick another module now. Okay, and the next module is actually the digital input module. Very, very important. Digital input module. Same, I think when you look at it, all of them all have this FS and the firmware and the certifications and the like. So we need to pay attention to that, rather, if you're actually working in a critical system, okay, especially in the oil and gas, to know what you're actually ordering or what you're actually buying. It's very important. Okay, so we're actually going to be doing this. Let's see what to say that 60S7522 1BHOO-OABO, and we have that 16 also. So let's add this to what we have earlier, and I'll be picking another bus connector. Please take note of your bus connector, and if you're actually going to be connecting more modules, you will need to order more bus connectors. Okay, you will need to order more bus connectors because that's the only way you can communicate with all other modules on the rail. And if you look at it, we have provisions for that. I can just bring this down and you can see the extra bus connector that we have here in case of incasity. Then you can see 60S7590 OAA. Is this really whole or zero Siemens? Okay, we'll find out about that. Let's just check out this. This is 5. I think we have 5 pieces extra that we can work with. And I've already explained what FS is. Very important for you. I think the quantity is saying 1 here. But what about the number? So let's check this out and see if we can get the 5 pieces. And here we go. So 5 pieces actually here. So let's check it out. And we can see some extra bus connectors here, and they should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this can help us with additional modules and the likes. Now I'm going to something very, very important. Let me just push this or drop this by the side, then talk about the power supply. Let's talk about the power supply. Let's just place this here and let's talk about the power supply. So I'll be picking up the power supply here, and we have this power supply PM1507. PM1507. Okay, and you can see input with 120 230, the amps rated for whether 120 or 230, and also 50 to 60 hours. Okay, all right, depending on your country. So you should be able to know what frequency you guys make use of. So output is always 24 volts, 3 amps, 70 watts. This is powerful, and this is actually going to help us just to ensure that all modules are fine and we don't have any form of power failure. Okay, even when the rack is finally filled. All right, and we can see the other number there. So let's just unmount this. Yeah, I think if you look at this, you will discover that it's saying industrial control equipment, also listed as programmable controller for use in hazardous locations. All right, you guys need to pay attention to some of this stuff, because if you're working in a critical sector, and I'm actually going to make use of that word, you need to be careful of what you use, because you must be very, very attentive to detail on what you use in a class A when you are talking about classification in an oil and gas sector or in any petrochemical sector. So let's look at this PM 120/230 volt AC. Okay, we have the off position, the on position, and I think, yeah, we have this connector here that we can actually pull out. Okay, and then we can be able to connect, do our wirings well here, then we actually going to do that connection there. So now I want you to take note that it's not net. This is not even possible, you know. People think, oh, then I need a bus connector to connect this to my CPU. No, the power supply is actually independent on its own, and it does not require any bus connector. Okay, so let's add this guy to the rail. Let's bring all of them together. So starting from the power supply, then we move down to the rest of the module. Now, if you can look at them carefully, you discover that they are well aligned. All right, but I do this because sometimes you don't have this fitted well, so you need to ensure it is well fitted. Okay, it is well fitted. It is well fitted. All right, it is well fitted. So then we have the rail now filled with all of this. Now, surprise, surprise, this guy does not come with input and output connectors. All right, this does not come with the slimmer versions. Yes, they come with the pushings, but when you're getting the standard version, which I'm sure this guy, I think about 35 mm, I think we have the 35 mm and the 25 mm. So this, you will need to order this bus connector. Well, luxury of time when you've ordered this in the plant, and then you are discovering that, oh, we need a bus connector after waiting for this for 2 weeks. Then you have to search for this. That's actually my case. Okay, when you see this, we can then open this up. There's also something else you need to pay attention to. Let's open this up. All right, and if you look at it here, you discover that the other numbers are actually, these are actually the same, but I would love to talk about the mechanical latch, which prevents you from making use of the output on the input section and the likes. And if you can look at this, let me just shift this to the side so that we have more room to talk about this. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so now if you look at this latch here, a little bit of detail there, and you discover this. So I was actually wondering, why can't I find this? I've searched for it, and I was discovering, in as much as I know that there are connectors without this latch, previously made by Siemens, but I think this has the ability to take the latch. So I think probably it fell off or something, or it was removed. But when you look at this, you can see the latch. Now, all of this story, what is the end game? If I bring this here in front of you guys, let me shift this backward, you will discover that I can't put this actually here. It's not going to fit. It's not going to fit. If you look at it. So, but if I should take this here, it's actually going to fit. Very important. All right. So this prevents you from swapping your connectors. Okay, good move by Siemens, but I was just wondering, why couldn't just, them just say this is for the inputs, this is for the outputs, because they all have the same order number. And I was actually wondering about that. Someone can actually clarify this for me in the comment section, but I was just wondering, the same order number, the same screw type, and one is having a latch, one is not having a latch. How do you tell people, or are you guys saying that we should just communicate to the supplier to open all boxes and then start confirming the one with the latch, the one without the latch, and the likes? It looks so funny. Anyway, it's fine if that's the way out. But you discover this fits here and then this fits here. It's a good move because it then prevents you frying, your modules, because once you swap your input and your output connectors, then I'm telling you, it will be a very smoky, smooth, not noodles now, but your modules will be will be smoked. Okay, so we have this all in. Okay, we're actually going to test this if it's going to work regardless of the connectors. So watch out. the next time when we're actually connecting this and see if this is actually going to give us the result that we need when we are powering up. Okay, but I think at this time we are actually good with unboxing and mounting. Do we have any other thing? Yes, this DVD. The DVD is for hardware files, just normal configuration files and everything. This is not TI Portal, guys. Please take your mind off it. Okay, so just take your mind off it. But it's also good in case you don't have access to the internet, but you have this, you can also get the information here for yourself. Another thing is, I think I've spoken about this already, which is actually the memory card. All right, I think another one, I was talking about a shorter rail which would fit in for a short-term application whenever we have a short panel, or let me say a very small panel. Okay, and if you can see the other number there, very important, for you to take note of the length, 160 mm, very, very short. Okay, I think we are good to go. So next thing we are actually going to be wiring, and that will be it for now.